Welcome to a massive 100% footy tonight. Haven't we got a bit to get through? That moment, yes. Harry and Nathan, the best of frenemies there. All the fallout was at the grand final preview. We're one-on-one with big Payne Haas after his decision to switch to Samoa. How does his club coach, Michael Maguire, feel about it? Madge is going to join us live after Reece Lightning lit it up in that Brisbane derby as well. And of course, as always, the Scuttlebutt, the mailbag with Daddy is full. And look who's dropping by again. Yes, 100% dribble with the Hello Sport Boys. Let's go.
Here we go. Where's Nathan? He's got a chance to win the game here. Oh, it's a penalty. It's a penalty to Melbourne. Oh! Grant's got an option of Peasant and Munster. Oh, he could dummy and score a try himself. Harry wins it for the Storm. Golden point greatness from the champion number 9. Kupo. He's up, he's over. He crashes over. And he's scoring another one.
He doesn't like the milestones. He just sort of drops his head and he's really humble about it, but we celebrate for him.
Holmes with a kick over the top. No fullback at home. And nothing but Sharks jerseys. There's your celebration with Vico. And Reece Walsh. He has a big moment in this big contest. Katoni Staggs. Awesome. Kathy Freeman rings the bell. So much emotion. There's Greg Inglis. Duncan gets the try. Walker short and Duncan. Try Gray. Wow. 3 times in a row the white headgear appeared out of nowhere. Well, Tigers fans are rolled up.
It's probably just the realisation that it's going to be hard to get there this year.
Braden Burns. Indigenous round means so much to this man, and he celebrates with a meat pie going 80.
Drama, 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 just the way we like it here in 100% footy. A lot to get through tonight. Evening, Paul Gallen.
Hey, Brace.
Hello, Brad Filler in for Kevin Smith tonight. Nice to see you, Bradley.
Bit nervous.
The top dog. Good evening, Gus.
Where have you been, James Bracey?
Well, it's just good to be back.
Where have you been? I want a late note or something.
I'll have to fill you one out during this show. A little bit busy, but great to be here regardless. I always say a lot to get through. The ladder. The ladder. You know I love a ladder.
No, Brace. Honestly, answer Gus's question. Before you go to the ladder, where have you been?
I took that photo on the slopes. Okay, I went for a sneaky 4 days.
And not just, hang on, no, it wasn't 4 days. It wasn't 4 days. You haven't been here for 2 weeks.
That's a fireball shot there. That was about 10:15.
You haven't been here for 2 weeks.
No, well, there was some bare duties over for the inaugural board meeting for a couple of days and then just a sneaky few days in between rounds with the kids and the wife, who now are back in love with me, which is great. Can we get on with the show? You right, Gus?
Where you go?
Nothing to add. Great. Now, the ladder. You know I love it. I've been looking forward to talking about this one. The Raiders, well, they got their free 2 points over the weekend, Gus.
They got a bye.
Because they had a bye.
You love a bye.
So they stay on top, and they're those 2 points clear of the Melbourne Storm, who are keeping them honest. The Doggies lost to the Roosters, so they still sit comfortably in the 4. More on that shortly. The Warriors, they're back in the 4. Panther drops out off the back of the drama that we're going to be discussing shortly. The Broncos, well, they're in the hunt for a second chance in September as well. The Sharkies, they belted the Gold Coast. They now go and get free 2 points with a bye in the next round. The Roosters are in the 8. The Dolphins are out of it. Is it a race in 9 now for the premiership of 2025, Gal?
Yeah, I think so. I can't see the Seagulls. I can't see anyone outside the Dolphins, possibly slipping inside the 8. So, yeah, I think it's down to them 9 teams.
Seagulls gone.
Gone.
For and against. Not good enough.
I think Jake might be out for the season too.
Yep.
They're talking about resting him the rest of the year.
Alrighty. OK, so let's go back to where it all began, though, of course. Thursday night, CommBank Stadium, the grand final rematch, many are saying perhaps could even be a grand final preview for this season. I'll tell you what, with that quality of footy, let's get it into us.
Here we go. And it's 18 all. Where's Nathan? He's inside the 30. He's got a chance to win the game here. One of the Melbourne chase. Oh, it's a penalty. It's a penalty to Melbourne. Oh!
Nathan, how did you see it?
Tell the truth. I thought the blocking rule was brought in so then people wouldn't stand next to the play of the ball. I didn't think Moses moved at all either. Harry played for it. He knew he was going to get the penalty.
Yeah, but he's still a blocker. He's still a challenger.
Got to be careful with all this talk around the intentions of the player.
Harry gave the team an advantage and he got the result.
Probably a bit of inconsistency around it, but as long as that's the rule, it's black and white. Everyone trains and understands you're not allowed to be in that position.
It's about to roll to the surface here. Grant's got an option of Peasant and Munster. Oh, he could dummy and score a try himself.
Yeah, Harry's so smart, both ends.
Did you know you're going to do that?
I had lunch with Roy Masters and I guess he put it in my head.
Yeah, I'm feeling that as we haven't done enough, which is, at the end of the day, is on me.
Well, if it wasn't already a great rivalry, it certainly is now. I know what you did last Thursday, Harry. I tell you what, the tensions between these two. Great graphics around team there. It's a beauty. And the scene is set. Imagine if this is the grand final. So let's head over to our little telestrator in the studio here. Brad, Gal, break it down. Who's in the right? Who's in the wrong?
All right, let's go through the try first. It's the 79th minute. Boom. Here we go. Moses passes the ball back, ends up in Dylan Edwards' hands. He makes a break. Comes through, offloads it to Mitch Kenny. And there we go, right here. Dylan Edwards goes into... Let's pause it there. What are you seeing, Gal?
Well, Moses Leota had pushed up now. He's stuck there in that position. Now, I agree with what Nathan Cleary said. The blocking rule was brought in, so we didn't have 2 or 3 people just standing next to the play of the ball, so the mark couldn't get to him. Moses Leota, for me, is a chance of having a hit up there. He's even pointing outside and to pass the ball out there. So, look, I think Harry Grant has played for the penalty, played it perfectly. He exploited the rules, which at the end of the day is what players and coaches do. They find ways to exploit rules. Harry's found that way. I've got no issue in what Harry Grant did, just to be clear. I think he done the right thing by his team, but I do think if we're going to allow players to exploit the rules like that, we do have to look at the rule.
Well, the only thing that supersedes it was, and the one thing I was nervous about, was Harry jumping from marker. Now, if Harry jumps from marker, the penalty actually then goes to the Panthers.
But I've got no doubt that Harry played for the penalty, because to me, the quickest way to Nathan Cleary is straight up there. Well, that's not very straight, but straight there. He actually comes around this way and makes contact with Moses Leota and falls over, which, to be honest, wouldn't have knocked over my 6-year-old daughter, but he played for it and got away with it. So I think he played for it. I don't know where they go. I think that they need to look at the rule. And I don't think they're going to change it this year, to be honest.
Yeah.
But
to be fair,
the other
blocking, I think Ashley Klein called it on the spot, so I've got to live with that. I can live with the fact that he was in a position, he was right in front of Nathan Cleary. The other thing is, the bloke who sort of no one notices is Cam Munster here. We spoke about being onside. Just watch Cam Munster. The play the ball's there. Cam Munster.
He's a couple of metres offside, I've got no doubt about it. But when you have a look at the other, Nathan Cleary had another shot at field goal in the extra time, I think it was. And Trent Liero, there's no way in the world he was square at marker. So I think I've got no doubt Munster's offside there. Trent Liero in the next attempted field goal, there's no way he's square at marker. So I think the Panthers, I think they're a little bit unlucky on the weekend, to be honest.
But we're both saying, that's right, he's a blocker.
He's a blocker. Technically, he's a blocker.
That's what you're saying, he's a blocker.
He's a blocker. Technically, he's a blocker. So technically, they've got it right. But again, I still think Harry Grant has played for it. Are we going to allow players to play for it? That's not my decision.
He's blocking.
All right, you two, head back over to the set, would you? In the meantime, I want to get the top dog's verdict from that analysis we've just witnessed.
Well, Harry played for it. Harry used the rules to his advantage. Players have been doing this on the obstruction rules for years. All right, we've been asking the referees and the bunkers to show a bit of common sense about players who really don't look to make the defensive play, but rather use obstruction as a reason to get a penalty or to draw attention. There's no reason. People can't catch Harry Grant. When Harry Grant runs the ball, he beats everybody. Yet one lone tree standing in the middle of the forest, he's run straight into it, and he's had to reach his arm out to actually make contact with it. He deliberately ran at him and played for the penalty. There's no other way to do it.
Well, it come late.
So how does our game reward that? How do our referees reward that? And if you want to go any further, we've now got this ridiculous thing where we've got penalty tries for mid-air tackles in the in-goal. How does our game get to that? There's a lot of things that have crept into our game over the last 2 or 3 years that have been unchecked because there's no one that's really monitoring how the referees are doing this. And it's to the detriment of our game. And it makes it more and more difficult to play. But that, he blatantly... Now, I'm not bagging Harry Grant. Good luck to him. He did it. All right? He used the rules to his advantage.
Yeah, he's not Robinson Crusoe.
There's no way in the world, if you're going to review it, with the coal lighter day from a bunker, that you don't say, no, he's deliberately used the rule and he's deliberately played for the obstruction.
So they sent that out this year. They sent out a notice earlier this year and talked about playing for obstructions and playing for penalties. Yeah. The thing was, though...
All started with the Sharks back with Gallen and them blokes.
The thing was, in this incident, was the fact that Moses Leota he was in position before Harry played for the penalty.
Moses was going to hit it up. What they weren't setting up for a field goal because Dylan Edwards made the break.
As soon as he heard Nathan go field goal, Moses went from I'm hitting it up to I'm going to be
freeze,
get in the road. Because even to the point where he actually
did you
moved,
want him to go?
Yeah, you can't move free.
Nathan's
I totally agree. I always say, like, where's he going to go?
There was a huge gap between him and the play of the ball, and there was a huge gap outside him. Where do you want Moses
Why
to
didn't
go?
he run through like
he doesn't know where Nathan.
It doesn't matter. Even if he had to run through, if the
he had to
defender
run
had to
through
make
and run
contact
into
with
someone,
him, a penalty anyway.
It's a penalty anyway.
Basically, no one is allowed to be in front of the
He
kicker.
virtually went like this. He covered himself up and said to make himself invisible.
He moved left.
Harry had to find him. Yeah. He didn't know where Harry was going.
He did move left.
But he didn't know where Harry was going. In the end, he just stood there.
Anyway, I'll just go off the facts. He did move left. The rule's a strange one, and it's a reaction to people just standing at the ruck.
So you're saying Harry didn't milk that?
No, totally.
All right, well then how do we reward that? Why do we reward that?
The explanation of Moses being in a blocking position, though, before Harry actually played for it, tells me they got it right.
He wasn't in a blocking position. He was in a hit-up position.
He was in a hit-up position.
Well, why didn't he move?
Why what?
Why didn't he move?
He didn't know where to go. He didn't know where Nathan was. He wasn't getting in Harry's way. He was getting out of Nathan's way.
A blocking position. This is the whole reason you talk about the mid-air tackles. The reason the mid-air tackle rule was brought in was to stop players getting their legs taken out and flipped over and put in a dangerous position. Now, all of a sudden, when players are competing for the ball, they go to grab a ball, they grab a player in the air. That's a penalty. Now, this one here, the rule was brought in to stop sleepers or blockers, whatever you want to say, standing near the ruck. He wasn't standing near the ruck. He was in a hit-up position.
It's not the first one that's happened, though. This ain't the first one. This is just the most obvious.
It won't be the last because no one will pull it up. The NRL come out and supported the decision, which they blindly do every week. All right, but we get these little things creep into our game which are not good, and it makes the game harder to play. Now everyone's spooked about crossfield kicks and whether or not they can touch the bloke catching the ball. How ridiculous. That's not our game. That's not what our game has always been.
Yeah, that's not a good
Nathan himself, I think, was in the midst of one. If we wind back the clock, I think, to the opening round last year here, there he is, against the Melbourne Storm too, of all teams. And here comes Nathan out from marker. There's a little spin.
Oh, James, you've done your homework.
I didn't do the homework.
You've done your homework.
I love it. But do you know what the best thing about this is? It fuels the rivalry. You know, if there's a silver lining come out of it, if these two do end up in the grand final, this is all we'll be talking about in the week leading up.
That might cost Penrith the top 4 position. Well, I don't care about the rivalry.
I'll tell you what else we're forgetting.
They can't take the field goal off them.
But we're forgetting the other one. We're forgetting the second attempt with the Trent Liero one. Trent Liero is no way in the world he is square. There's not a chance he's square. Why didn't the referee blow the penalty then?
Not a chance.
Exactly right.
I'll tell you what, if they don't alter the rules on attacking players going for kicks, then Melbourne play the Roosters in the grand final because it's the easiest way to score a try. If you can get down there, you kick the coach, you can't stop it. You can't stop Tupou.
Everyone's now out recruiting 7-foot AFL.
We're going to AFL. We're off to the Swans. Watch out, buddy.
I tell you what, this game.
Like he's running marathons, we'll get Buddy back.
Couldn't get enough of it, Gal.
No, it was a cracking game. Great game of footy. Look, the result, I know we're still talking about it, but was an absolute beautiful, wonderful game of footy. So
phenomenal performance by the Storm with the players they had missing, and in the run of the play, Penrith sort of had them dominated for long periods, didn't they? And the Storm just never gave up. They just kept coming at them, manufactured their points, and then Harry come up with 2 of the biggest plays of the season.
The Storm had at least 4 players out, didn't they? At least 4 players out the Storm.
Well, they had the fullback and the halfback. That's who you got to worry about. And then Nelson in the front row.
Nelson,
Mate, the biggest plays
Warbrick, the winger. Howarth still out.
Howarth, the centre, was still out.
I mean, Katoa.
I'd say Yo was still out for the Panthers.
Yeah. They weren't playing. He put Mooney into that gap. He then got the error on Dylan Edwards that ended up a try as well. He come up with some massive plays, Katoa.
How long are we going to see the headgear on Nathan for, too, with the old cauliflower?
Doesn't look good.
I don't know if it works.
No.
Did you ever wear headgear?
Why did he have it on?
Did you ever wear headgear?
No.
He's got to cut in his ear.
They're Sevo with the goggles. How good are they? I want a pair of those.
Yeah, they're cool.
Could have used them in the snow, actually. But he's
could have had them on when you were drinking that fire.
In 40 years' time, mate, we might all be wearing helmets. You never know.
Nathan, just looking after the year. But well done.
How are your ears?
A couple of fashion statements out there. Yours are all.
Oh, they're a little bit cauliflower, but not too bad.
You got good ears, Brad.
They're big.
Now these two teams. If there's a lot of talk about what it'd be like to see them clash in finals. In the meantime, massive games for them coming up this weekend. Gus, Storm hosting the Bulldogs Friday night. So top dog sideline, yes, cheering on your team against the mighty Melbourne at Amy Park.
It's the best time of the year. It's honestly the best time of the year. And we've got some really big games coming up into the lead up into the finals and then 4 weeks of finals. And this is what you play for. This is why you sign up to play in these games.
How were they? Roosters are pretty good. How were they?
Yeah, more on that a little bit later. So Melbourne have got the Doggies, top 4 tussle right there on Friday, the early kick-off. The Panthers have got the Raiders, and this one's at a sold-out ground in Mudgee.
Wow, what a game that's going to be, yeah. I mean, the Raiders are flying at the moment. They're a really good side, the Raiders. And Penrith coming good. So was Isaiah due back? Do we know when he's due back?
Well, he spoke to Billy on the weekend and said he was pushing for this game.
So he should be back next
right
week.
for Madge.
Yeah, okay.
That's a hell of a game to come back for.
So that Panthers-Canberra game is 6 o'clock on Friday night. The league should be moving that to 4 o'clock on Sunday.
Nice.
No risk in the world, all right? The general public needs to see that game, not be hidden away at 6 o'clock on a Friday night. I know we do our draws and our television, our broadcast earlier in the year, but common sense says that's the match of the round.
Can you change it this late? When do you got to change it?
Why can't you change it?
I've spoken at the league about this.
Yeah.
Like, how late could you change a game from a point of view of you're an administrator at a club?
Bradley, we once put a man on the moon. We can change the game from Friday to Sunday.
I'm not sure about that either.
Yeah.
That was pretty dodgy.
What are you, a conspiracy theory, are you?
Mate.
What?
And they haven't done it since.
Don't take us down on
Well, they found there was nothing up there.
Well, they haven't done it since. So we did it like in the 60s or something, but we haven't been since. Seriously.
Get off those YouTube.
We can move the game from Friday night to Sunday at Mudgee, and the rest of the nation can watch it on free-to-air television. That's where it should be. Yep. Anyway, that's just my little 2 cents.
Well done.
Why haven't they put someone back on the moon since?
Oh, my God. You're watching 100% Footy. We're going to stick to the footy. Huge shows.
We'll put them on Mars. We're sending robots to Mars.
Danny's been up there. Danny, go and find out.
Here's Haas. Payne Haas! Suncorp erupts! He likes that one, the big fella!
There was a moment when I played for Australia when we versed Samoa in Tianzu and the anthems were playing and my mind started racing back. Lots of memories with my mum making us sing the national anthem for Samoa a lot. I think from that moment onwards, I wanted to play for Samoa and represent my mum's side, the top 4 side, and really make them proud.
Well, Payne, a huge decision. You're going to play for Samoa. Can you talk us through the reason? Why did you make the call?
It was a hard one, to be honest. I've been to and throwing for about 2 years now, since 23, since I played the last pack champs for Australia, and I think the moment what made me move was the national anthem. Nearly got teary, to be honest, because all these memories came back. It was me and my brothers, especially my brother Chase. My mum used to make us sing the national anthem at the back of the car, and yeah, I just seen Chase's face pop up and Cleese, and we were sitting at the back, and it's something I've always wanted to do to honour my grandparents and my mum's side, and I get the chance to do that now, and I'm content with my decision.
You met with Kevy last week or the week before. What was that like? Did you go in there knowing that you'd made your decision, or were you still open-minded?
I made my decision before I even knew Kevy was coach, and then obviously Kevy was coach, and then told me he wanted to have a sit-down and all that, and I knew what it was about, and in Kevy's fairness, he was so good about it. Told me our relationship's not going to be worse off if you make that decision to go to Samoa, so I got lots of love and respect to Kevin. I was open and honest to him about my decision, and yeah, he respected that.
A lot of people in the game are supportive of the international game growing and people like yourself and Tino going from Australia to play for Samoa, but others aren't as supportive. Have you heard some of the noise, some of the criticism of players who play for New South Wales or Queensland, they're not choosing to play for Australia?
Yeah, and I'm multicultural. I've got lots of backgrounds with me, nationalities, and I'm proud of all of them. My Philae side, my Swiss side, and especially my Samoan side. And, you know, obviously don't really want to listen to them people because they don't know what it's like in my shoes, so.
Do you think that the NRL should be open-minded in regards to which players are eligible to play Origin?
Yeah, I feel like they should. Like, I see someone like Victor Radley, for example. I feel like he should be able to play Origin still. He is in Australia, in New South Wales, before the age of 13 and played all his juniors before that. And I feel like if someone meets that criteria, they should play. But that's not up to me to make that decision, and we'll see what they say at the end of the year.
What about the other guys that we're considering? Tino, the Hammer. Have you spoken to any of those guys about what that could look like if you all go over together?
Yeah, we've had talks. I won't go into depth about what we've spoke about and where we're at, but, you know, they've got to follow their heart and do what's right for them.
Does it make you any less proud of what you've achieved as playing for the green and gold as well? I imagine that's something that you're very proud of.
No, 100%. Yeah, I'm super proud to play in that green and gold jersey, and I'm very thankful that I got to do that.
When you finally made the decision, what was that like for the family?
Yeah, it was the best. I think my Samoan side, especially my grandfather's not getting any younger, and I could just be happy playing for Australia and playing for the best team. But, you know, I want to play for our little nation and really put them on the map and try and win this World Cup. So,
I appreciate your time. Good luck with it all.
Thank you.
The man mountain that is Payne Haas, who's made an enormous decision to switch that allegiance from the Kangaroos to his native Samoa, and has done so, Gus, with confidence, conviction, just seeing the maturity of the man over the last couple of days. He's really at peace with his call.
I love it, and there should be more of it, and we need more players to stand up and make those sort of statements. I've said all along that the international game, the country you play for is the one where you hear the national anthem, and that's, you know it, that's your country. It's as simple as that. And to hear him actually say those words, I thought was brilliant. The international game should not dictate to our domestic representative football, nor should our domestic representative football dictate to the international game. The international game, in the end, is what's going to sell this product globally in the future, long after I'm dead and gone. But you have to start somewhere. And I think it's a really great stand, and I'm so proud that he's going to play for Samoa. I'm sure Samoa is too.
I feel like this may be that tipping point too, Fred, where we do find that right balance in the months to come.
Well, they need to find some rules in amongst eligibility. Can Payne, if he changes his mind, come back and play for Australia? The one thing I do know is England, the game started in England, 1895. So the one thing we're forgetting here is the European part of rugby league, and it's so important. So I think at some stage, the pinnacle of our game, whether it's played once every 4 years, once every 8 years, whatever it is, should be a kangaroo tour, and every single person who plays State of Origin should make themselves eligible to be part of that kangaroo tour. Apart from that, I think October will be incredible with the Pac champs. I think the teams and the players that they're forming is going to be an incredible competition for a long time to come. But the pinnacle needs to be the Northern Hemisphere versus the Southern Hemisphere. They do it as well. Great Britain. They're going up to play England this time, but it should be Great Britain. And then all of a sudden, we need to help the Northern Hemisphere at the moment. So I totally support what Payne's doing, but I still think the pinnacle of the game should be a kangaroo tour, whether it's played every 8 years, whatever it is, and then everyone who plays Origin should make themselves available for that tour.
Bang on. Gal, I've got to say, he mentioned there the Pacific Championships, with no Kangaroos there because of that Ashes tour. It looked depleted, but the thought of Tonga Samoa at a Suncorp Stadium, that will be something special.
Yeah, it will be something special for sure, especially for them. But guys, I don't understand. Look, Payne talks about his heritage and his background. I'm only Australian, so I only know when Gus talks about anthems, I only hear the Australian anthem. That's who I want to play for. So I don't understand their heritage, but obviously they want to play for him. I think it's going to be great for the international game. But I'm with Freddie. I do think there needs to be some rules around Origin. I think the Origin eligibility is okay. I think the international eligibility needs to be looked at.
Okay, more to come on that, no doubt. Let's bring in Payne's coach, of course. Our star in the spotlight tonight, Michael Maguire, who joins us. Madge, always great to catch up. Thanks for being here on 100%. You've had an up-close and personal look at Payne going through this process. What have you made of the decision and how he's gone about it?
Yeah, I'm a bit the same as what the boys just discussed. I think it's great for the international game, and I was fortunate to be a part of the Kiwis there for quite some time, and understanding the passion that they have for where they've come from, and getting to know Payne the way I have this year. He's very strong on family and where he's come from, so I think it's a great thing for Payne. Obviously the rules need to be looked at, and how that's going to play out, that's not up to me, but I think it's great for the international game that they're going to spread, and I think for Australia and New Zealand, I think they're going to have to hurry along to make sure that they can build the squads that they need to go up against the teams like Tonga and Samoa and Fiji and so on, because to be a part of that World Cup a couple of years ago was pretty special. I think it's a big part of our game.
Michael, you won a premiership with the Rabbitohs down here in Sydney, and you had a very dominant leader in that pack called Sam Burgess. And you're now at the Broncos, and you've got a fellow like Payne Haas. Can you compare the two in their personality, character, and what they mean to their respective teams?
Yeah. Oh, look, they're both incredible human beings. That's the first part, and I think the way they carry themselves and the way they play, spoke for itself. But I guess the big thing I'm seeing Payne this year just really grow within himself, and he's become a stronger leader. I think, I was fortunate when I landed with Sam. He'd probably a bit further ahead in that space, but to watch Payne develop, especially from the experience that I was able to have with him last year through the Origin period, it's been really great to watch. And I think there's so much more in Payne, and I think what he's doing right now is just showing, what he's about, and standing to what he wants to believe and what he wants to move towards. And I can see him doing that in a great way for us here.
What about the team, Michael? Great victory on the weekend, coming back from behind. I look at your run in, and you've got the Knights, the Cowboys, who aren't doing too well at the moment. Then you finished with the Storm. Now, it was the Storm game where all the injuries occurred. How do you think you went in that game? Were you competing with the Storm up until that time when they all got injured?
Yeah, Freddie, I got a hell of a lot from that game. I thought that we competed in certain parts of the game at a high level. And I felt that, there were times where we had the momentum of the game, and I think, our players, what they are learning at the moment, especially this last little period of what we've had over the couple of months, is playing the long game. And what I mean by that is getting to the 80th minute, and the last few weeks, even that Storm game, I felt that there was a real fight in the team to want to be able to, get the result. And we've sort of shown that over the last couple of weeks that you win a game over 80, and, you just got to make sure that you play the style that you're developing, and that's something there that I've seen really grow in this last couple of months with us.
Madge, do you have any update on the injuries to some of those key players that you got?
Yeah, I'm hoping the Reno might be a couple of weeks. So he's probably closer than the other two. Ezra and Selly, they're probably a little bit of a long shot for us at the moment. So fortunately for us, we had Hunty and Billy come in and do a great job for us. To have Hunty with the experience he's got, and I've had Billy, as I've stated before, and he's a great player. So, and then we're able to bring Pakesy back in, our dummy half, and then Tyson Smoothie, who's played a lot. So we're fortunate we've got a bit of depth there that can cover off on a few things that are going on at the moment.
Michael, what brand of heart tablets are you on? I'm just inquiring for myself because your team, I've nicknamed the Thrill Seekers. They just don't, they don't resemble a team coach like you at different times. They're off on their own tangent. You sit there sometimes, just hold on to your seat and say, what's going to happen here next?
Yeah, pretty well. I mean, on the weekend I came out at half-time, I sat down and the opposition was scoring a try, so I'm not quite sure where that one came from. So things like that are happening. But what I'm seeing is a real growth in the group, Gus. I mean, they love their footy. Reece and, even our younger guys, Dean Mariner, Josiah Karapani. I've just got this young, youthful group that has some good leaders really helping the boys out to develop what we want to play. So, I enjoy them having a crack, but they've also got to have that understanding of what wins a real big game, and they're moving towards that really quickly.
Now, tell me honestly, when Reece Walsh gets the ball, I reckon both coaches hold their breath. When Reece gets the ball, have you got any idea what he's about to do with it?
Believe it or not, Gus, I actually do. And look, a lot of people look into his game and have a lot of opinion, but if you saw the practice that Reece does in the background to be able to create the things that he does, there's a reasons why he comes up with some brilliant plays, and I'm fortunate to see that quite often at training. But that's what he's practicing, and sometimes it doesn't come off, and because he's so quick, over the last couple of weeks we probably had a couple of forward passes. The blokes on the edges are trying to chase him, so they probably start a little bit ahead rather than being with Reece. So he is electric, and he's great to coach, and obviously the players appreciate him, and they back him up when things don't quite go well.
Madge, can you give us a bit of an insight into Pat Carrigan, the leadership he's shown over the past couple of weeks?
Yeah, Paddy's been great. I mean, I've sort of taken a bit of time to get an understanding of our leadership group, and I think Pat, especially over this last little period, once Origin's finished, has come back and really knuckled down his game. He's doing more extras than I've ever seen him. He's working hard his game. So I guess that's the type of leader that helps develop at this time of year. And I think he's just grown over this period, and obviously with Reno not being there, he's been able to stand up. But we've also got his good mate in Hunty, who he's played a fair bit of games at international and Origin level, so he's got a partner in crime there.
Madge, both you and Wayne Bennett have coached both South and Brisbane. I remember Wayne, when he came down, he said that the rivalry between the Sydney clubs, he never really understood that and how strong it was. What can you tell us about coaching up in Brisbane?
Yeah, it's big, and I think the Broncos, the brand and who has played before us, is enormous. You know, I've been fortunate to sit down with Wally Lewis and Trevor Gilmoster, Alfie Langer, and I could name a whole lot of the players. And then you go to Shane Webke and Petro. I was with Petro on the weekend just talking about the past history. So it makes the club, you know, with great stature. And I guess I felt that when I was down in South with the greats in Johnny Sattler and Bobby McCarthy and Mick Cleary, and you can name those guys that I got to be fortunate to be around. So they are very similar, but up here there's a great rivalry between obviously the local teams, and we played the Dolphins on the weekend, and the atmosphere around the stadium and in and around the streets leading into that game was spectacular. It was great. It's a rugby league town, Brizzy, and everyone loves it up here. So I guess you get a little bit more of that focus because it's a smaller town, and it gets spread there in Sydney. But both clubs are very big.
Madge, thanks so much for joining us on 100% tonight. The Knights this weekend, 3 rounds to go to finals. You're 2 points outside of that top 4. All the best on the run to September.
Thanks, bros. Thanks, fellas.
Great to have you with us. Michael Maguire joining us there. Plenty on his plate as his side tries to make themselves embedded in that 8 as we pivot towards our cash converters conversion of the week, and we are going to some junior footy tonight. I reckon, Brad, you're going to love this. Based near Morisset, the under-14s Division 2 South Lakes Roosters in the prelim finals. 10-all at full time. Extra time, Isaac Ferrugia kicks a field goal from 30 metres away, wins the team a spot in the grand final, and it's been going gangbusters on the social.
That's what dreams are made of.
I thought I saw some blockers there. No bunker?
No bunker there.
Welcome back. Well, this was a cute moment, wasn't it? The Hello Sport Boys and the Top Dog enjoying a moment together over in Perth in the midst of the Origin series. Now, if you missed the memo, these two, well, they're providing some unbelievable insights both on the podcast world and in social media land as well about the great game of rugby league. So like they did on this night in the West Australian capital, they're back for more every Monday in the run home for season 2025 for some unqualified opinion, unwavering bias, and yes, 100% dribble.
What is up? Welcome to 100% Dribble with Hello Sport. My name is Tom. Joining me here is Seb, dutifully filling in for my offside already, who is on another holiday in Spain. Now, let's get into some of the rugby league news that caught our eye. The first story of the week was Harry Grant putting in a Hall of Fame performance, one of the great dives we've ever seen.
Moses is now in a blocking position that denies Harry Grant a fair run to the ball. The captain's challenge is unsuccessful.
Mate, they're calling him the most famous diver since our boy Stewie Diver in the 90s.
Stewie certainly was the preeminent diver of our time. Harry now takes the mantle. Matthew Mitcham probably rounds out the podium. Now, obviously, a lot of defection chat in the news. Payne Haas to Samoa. You know, what's Tino doing? Where's Hammer going? The defection that they aren't really talking about has been the mid-season defection by Marcelo Montoya from turtleneck to helmets.
Yeah, look, I want the turtlenecks and the helmets to have a State of Origin-like event, mate versus mate, state versus state, and we can finally settle a debate about which one's the preferable one.
Which one do we prefer? We all know that sensitivity preserved with a turtleneck. Now, Marcelo's wife did come out on Instagram this week to refute the claims and basically saying that Marcelo a turtleneck.
No one got circumcised in this house, right? Stop sending it to me. Stop tagging me. You've seen it. It's fake, all right?
Gus, can you confirm or deny what is going on here?
Have you seen it? Surely you've seen it. Now, this one's weird. Shane Flanagan, rugby league coach, won a premiership. You know the drill. He came out in the post-game press conference and he says he doesn't know the rules of rugby league.
I've been involved. I started playing footy when I was 4 years old. I don't know the rules anymore. I dead set do not know the rules.
Look, Shane, considering a bit of history there, you think he might know the rules by now.
We have reached out to the Dragons. They are yet to provide any comment. Now, this is good news. This is positive news. This is rugby league news. It's good for the soul. It'll warm even the coldest, deadest rugby league heart. The Johns boys, Joey and Maddie, they seem to have buried the hatchet, Sebo.
Maddie said on Backstage with Cooper and Maddie that the two went to a pub, went back to Joey's and prank called some rugby league greats.
Yeah, righto, who's going to pick up first? It'll be Lotto. Righto, we're going to call Brian Smith as coach, Phil Gould or Wayne Bennett. Righto, put your money on who's going to answer first.
Now, the NRL media is on high alert after revelations this week made by Danny Weidler on the Journos podcast, as he becomes the second high-profile journo to fall foul of the flora, if you will. First we had Paul Kent thrown into a tree, but a tree nonetheless. Now Danny's tripping over tree roots and doing his back.
I slipped over. I landed. It was muddy. Have you not noticed?
You said you landed on something awkward. What did you land on?
A tree root.
I just don't want Buzz to be taken out by a frangipani.
There you go, the Hello Sport Boys with edition number 1 of our run through to the end of season 2021. Bit of everything. Marcelo Montoya just it went down a rabbit hole this week that I was not expecting. Let's get into some of the footy.
Funny game, rugby league.
Did you get called by Maddie and Andrew?
Eh?
Did they call you?
Yeah, they used to drive home in the cab drunk, and they'd bet with their mates how many rings it would take for me to answer, because they knew I'd be awake at 3 o'clock in the morning. Yep. I don't know how many times they used to ring me drunk at 3 o'clock in the morning. And then they'd go home and then they'd ring again. And Matthew would be on the phone talking footy and Andrew would be kicking the ball into the wall around the lounge room. You could hear things breaking in the background because he's practising his goal kicking in the lounge room at 3 o'clock in the morning, full of the liquid amber.
Yeah.
How's Marcelo holding up?
He's okay.
Is he?
Yeah, he's okay.
Good to go?
Yeah. Wear a cricket protector.
The old Hector protectors. Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, great. 100% footy and 100% dribble. We're ticking
Funny
all
game,
the boxes
rugby league.
today.
Got very loose here all of a sudden.
All right, save me with some footy here, please, gents. The Roosters, the Doggies, all the Chooks. They've quickly become the Roosters, the new Panthers, charging up the ladder. The Eels, the Storm and Souths in their way, Gal, looking good.
They are looking pretty good, aren't they? I mean, Dogs started well this night, but then I thought the Roosters were pretty dominant the rest of the game. When Nafai White started the game really well, he led from the front. Tedesco was outstanding. Crichton was great. This man here, Tupu, like they got up there their first try. There's 5 up and bombed to him, and this was the only other try the Dogs scored, an intercept. But Tupu was outstanding. I thought Sam Walker probably had his best game back since he's been back from injury, and yeah, he was outstanding. So the Roosters on their way up the ladder, that's for sure. And look, I don't know if they can win the comp, but they'll be a thorn in a lot of teams' side.
Nuisance value, at the very least. Brad, your man, Daniel Tupou, I know he was one of your favourites when you were coaching the Origin side. Crikey, the hat-trick on the weekend. Looks as comfortable as ever in the game.
I think it was the first one where he just snuck around the back door, just went over the top. It was brilliant. I was talking about that rule before. I think, you know, if you can't touch the attacking player chasing the kick, then it's going to be very hard to stop Daniel Tupou. He's just a great finisher. The other thing Daniel does so well is all the stuff out the back. He's doing hit-ups.
You got Alex Johnston chasing that record, Brad. There, you got Daniel Tupou. He's got Billy in his sights too. He's coming for him, Tubes.
Yeah, he'll get Billy. He's got another year. He signed another year, so he'll no doubt collect Billy. I think what's he?
He's about 181.
22 Billy is short of Ken Irvine, and then they'll be chasing Alex Johnson soon.
From that weekend and what we saw for the Doggies, Gus, you've got this run home. Storm, Panthers, Sharks. If you're going to be finals ready, you're about to find out.
Yeah, well, we knew the draw back in late last year. We knew what the draw was going to be and sort of set ourselves to make sure that we were, hopefully finals qualified before we got to this last 4 or 5 games. And being able to do that, now the real test is on. We're playing the best in the competition, and that'll give us a good preparation leading into the finals. Wherever we finish in the 8, it's great to be back there again for the 2nd consecutive year after years in the wilderness. So you finish where you deserve, and this will be a great test for us over the next 3 weeks, playing the 3 best sides.
Coach said he may wield the axe. Tupanua, he's someone who hasn't played for a while. The other one is Marcelo Montoya. Will they be back? Will they be ready?
I don't know that he said he was going to wield the axe. He was a bit disappointed after the game the other night, and I think...
He did say he was looking for changes. He said...
No, he didn't really say that.
Sure?
You're reading between the lines there. No,
I was just
he was a bit disappointed, but I think that he thought there were some factors that... It's happened a number of times during the year, just not in recent times. A number of times where they have a really great performance, didn't quite come up the next week, they come up a little bit flat. And that's happened now twice in the last month, and it's cost them games against the Tigers and the Roosters. And the Roosters were great, so were the Tigers. They had a reason to play, and the Bulldogs just didn't come up with one. But, that's behind them now. They've got to get ready for the Storm on Friday night, which is the ultimate test. They're down there in Melbourne.
Some obstruction drama over the weekend. Dragon v Warrior, and always going to be an enthralling encounter, this one with the Dragons pushing so many teams this year. The Warriors desperate to get themselves back into the 4. Verdict on what we saw.
Look, for that one there, look, again, he's taken a dive, but look, he ran the outside shoulder. Now, if it's going to be black and white when you're taking a field goal that you can't have any blockers there, well, this has been black and white for the past 3, 4, 5 seasons. He ran the outside shoulder. I got no doubt he took a dive there. He played for the penalty. The penalty never went his way. So he didn't get away with that one. There was one in yesterday's game as well.
Jake Arthur.
Yeah, Jake Arthur. He didn't play for the penalty. Yeah, he actually was watching the ball, went to slide out, and they actually passed back inside of the space where he would have been, and they still awarded a try. So, look, yeah, he ran the out. It was Nenai. Jeremiah Nenai ran the outside shoulder. In years gone by, it's been black and white. You run the outside shoulder, it's a no try.
So I've got the rule that says you got to head on the inside shoulder or run into a space between players. And then they're saying that King Tonga initiated the contact. I think being so close to the line didn't help him. I think the Jake Arthur one was a bad one. Jake Arthur didn't see Nenai at all, was looking entirely at the ball, and then as he turned, Nenai was right there. And I'm not sure why they went against poor old Jake Arthur in that one.
Yeah, well, as I've said for a number of years, the people that come up with those interpretations for obstruction should be publicly flogged. And they're nonsense, and it's led to a whole lot of... anyway. But there you saw someone played for the penalty for the obstruction and didn't get rewarded by the bunker. Harry Grant did. Played for the penalty and got the reward.
That's where people get frustrated.
That's where people get frustrated, 100%.
Apart from a dummy half pass, though, the block play is now the most used play in the game. So it's very hard. You need to... hard. Because they're all so close and different at the same time.
I'd love to get a quick thought on the tailor-made try for the Tigers yesterday against the Seagulls. Running towards Turbo. Fainu is there on the scene at the time as well and sort of goes in and away, ends up scoring the try. Turbo stands there sort of a little bit flat-footed and gets away
I had
with it.
no problem.
Did we have any issue?
I had no issue with it. I mean, he could never have got the ball. He was in front of him. He couldn't have got the ball. I just thought Turbo got done all ends up. I had no issue with it.
For you, Fred?
I need to see it.
Here we go. So, great pass from Luai. May goes through.
There's no way Fainu could have got the ball. He's in front of him. I don't know what Turbo was even worried about him for. Look, he's in front of him. Can't get the ball. He's in front of him. Turbo, just take the bloke with the ball.
Mate, he runs behind him.
No, but look, Turbo, what's Turbo worried about Fainu for?
Yeah, but, mate, it's all happening so quick.
Mate, he's got the ball.
I'm backing Turbo there.
He can't give him the ball. He's in front of him, Freddie.
Oh, Gus.
Mate, nearly hit up his jumper. He was that close to him, you couldn't see him.
Firstly, who put that on the show? Was that you? This is the problem. See, we've educated our public we've educated our referees so poorly, we've educated the public so poorly that would even rate a mention as a possible obstruction.
What do you think, James?
You people are absurd. Fair dinkum.
I just wanted to bake the bear.
That's not obstruction. No,
you've just wasted 60 seconds of my life.
Good to be back, though. It really is good to be back.
Well, I can't believe
everything's an obstruction.
Do you actually think that's an obstruction, Freddie?
Well, it seemed like I'm looking at Turbo's reaction thinking...
He's in front of him. He's standing in front of him the entire time.
You're not allowed to stand in front of him, you know that.
We're not playing...
He's an attacking blocker.
Please.
Look, I love Bradley Fittler. I don't know who coached him when he was a young bloke, but he did a really poor job. Because Bradley comes up with some of the most stupid interpretations.
Wow.
I'm so glad we
can't run in front of him. Anyway.
Now, Gus, Sharkies.
Who did coach him when he was young?
No Cameron McInnes for the Sharks for the rest of the season.
Terrible.
That's your skipper. It's your hardest worker. He's the tackling machine.
Terrible.
Is that premiership hopes, if there were any, officially over?
Yeah, well, no one deserves an injury like this, particularly at this time of year, and particularly someone who works so hard and gives so much for his team and his club. No player deserves injuries like that. It's just... part and parcel of our game, unfortunately. Moved the wrong way at the wrong
his
time.
leadership, we sorely missed the Sharks. He's a fantastic leader, great player. But KL Ero is due back, I think, maybe this week, if not next week. And I think Sifa Talakai will probably move into the forwards, if that's the case.
He went good, Sifa, last week.
Sifa's going good, yeah. They're all going okay.
Brad, we're beating you out. You're off you're doing some great stuff with Royce, like Gal did last week.
Gal started the walk with Simo.
Yeah, good luck, mate. It's good fun.
So I've got a full day walk with Simo.
While you're on the walk, can you get Simo to explain the obstruction rule?
Oh, he'd know. He'd know a lot about that.
Loves to chat too. Thanks for being here, Brad. We've got plenty more to come in that seat in just a moment. Denny Weidler swings by for the latest edition of Scuttlebutt. It's a good time for you to leave, Brad.
You've got to speak for us, Gus. You know something. I might be wrong. Why was this wrong? Well, you can't even the dogs then if you're dealing in facts.
Don't stop.
Scuttlebutt Central is what we're all here for now. Denny Weidler is in the house. Hello, Denny.
James.
Looking forward to this segment. I tell you what, the big story out of the weekend were the pictures of Daly Cherry Evans, where you could just tell the realisation that Manly's season and his final season with them wasn't going to, is very unlikely to feature finals footy. He's got game number 350 coming up this week. A lot of discussion around his future. Where is it all at?
Well, you were talking about moon landings and stuff before, weren't you? This is straight out of that. We're in X-Files territory now.
Feels like it.
Look, it's a really weird one. Like earlier in the year, he came on this show and declared that he was not going to be a Manly Seagull. The assumption all along has been he will be going to the Roosters. Now, there's been doubts in recent days raised by people like me about all of this. I made some inquiries today. Officially, I've been told there is no contract between the two parties. Okay. Now, I'm going on people that I trust and believe, and they've assured me there is no contract between the Roosters and Daly Cherry Evans. There's not one in a drawer that hasn't been registered. There is no contract.
Any agreement, though?
I've just been told that. I've been told no contract.
Could there be a handshake agreement?
I asked about that, and they said there has been expressions of interest from both parties for something to happen. Now, read into that what you want, right? Now, the other thing I'm getting told is that the Roosters are closely watching what Daly Cherry Evans is doing. Now, they're not doing that for fun, are they? No. They're doing that because there's an intention, obviously, to try and get into the club. And if Nick Politis is promising anything to players, I trust Nick Politis to be a man of his word and things to happen if there's some sort of expression of interest. But at this point, there is no contract. Now, I have to believe the people telling me that because they're heavily involved in the deal.
So with this scenario, is there, while there's, I guess, scuttlebutt about maybe the Roosters getting cold feet, is there also scuttlebutt about maybe Daly Cherry Evans not wanting to play on beyond this year?
I reached out to Daly today for a chat. He didn't respond. Yep. So I don't know what's going on inside his head. I asked those same questions of people who are involved in this deal. Yep. And they're saying that his intention at this point is to play on next year. So that's all I'm being told. I can't guarantee that because I'm not him. I haven't talked to him about it, but I've talked to people around the deal. The other thing that's interesting that's going on is Hugo Savala, who's obviously a highly talented young half. There are going to be talks this week between Hugo's agent, Steve Gillis, and the Roosters about a new contract. Because right now, Hugo is earning $80,000 a year and he's on match payments as well. So he makes around $140,000 a season. That's well below market value, obviously, for the way Hugo's been playing. Yep. He'd probably, if he went to the market, if Steve Gillis got his way, I reckon he'd be looking for a deal around $450 up for Hugo Savala for next year. Hugo's been told, again, scuttlebutt, stick around, learn from Daly Cherry Evans and be patient. So it feels like all the intentions are for this deal to happen despite, and this is not my opinion, this is just the information that I can gather that's going on at the moment. And from the start, Gus has raised questions about whether the Roosters need Daly Cherry Evans. I don't know if your opinion's changed on that, Gus, at all, or whether you feel like he's now the player they need or they don't. I don't know. So.
No, but after that last 2 minutes, I feel more stupid than I did before.
Thanks for your support.
I haven't learned anything during that period. Well, he's going to the Roosters.
There's no contract.
He's going to the Roosters.
But you basically just said there's no contract.
There's no contract. As a player or as a coach?
He's going to the Roosters.
The idea
he will be playing with the Roosters next year.
There is ideas for 1 year to play and 1 year to coach.
He's going to the Roosters. Yeah.
Unless he retires.
He's going to the Roosters to play next year.
Well, there's been doubts raised about it, right? Yeah. You know that.
But you don't think the Roosters are going to pull out on it?
If Roosters gave their word, Roosters will honour their word. No risk in the world. But I don't think there is
No one from the Roosters is saying it, Gus. No one will confirm it.
Well, no, because... Anyway.
Roosters are good at keeping things in-house.
Yeah.
But you just basically said the Savales are going to go somewhere else, and you said
they've been told to stick around.
Stick around, learn from DC for a year.
Because a lot of people have been asking today, saying, is this deal going to fall over? And I'm just trying to provide answers.
Well, that's media scuttlebutt.
That's what we do, Gus.
That's what you do.
That's what we do.
That's why you're on this show. Carry on.
Okay, well, let's go from the skipper to the coach, Anthony Seibold. Because obviously...
next page.
The tougher things get for Manly at the back end of the year, the more the heat's turned up on the coach.
I don't want to be rude when I say this about Manly, but there's an extreme paranoia at Manly at the moment about one of the leading player agents in the game, George Mimas, who's got one of the biggest companies in the game. They think that Michael Ennis and Matt Ballin are being pushed by George Mimas to be the next Manly coach. Again, I don't want to be rude to Manly when I call it paranoia, but there is no need for George Mimas to do this at the moment. 12 months ago, Manly approached Mimas, who manages those two guys, to get a succession plan going where Michael Ennis would be the next Manly coach. Right. Now, whether they're changing their mind on that, I don't know. Right now they're saying, I spoke to Manly today, they're saying they 100% support Anthony Seibold to be their coach. I'm hearing on very good authority from the playing group that not everybody's on board with that from the playing group. Again, Manly think it's relating to players at that club managed by SFX, which is the company that George Mimas is involved with. And that includes a couple of the biggest names in Manly. So there is a definite situation at Manly that's causing angst for the Seagulls, and whether that leads to Anthony Seibold going, I can't guarantee that, but the Manly chairman has come out and said he'll be staying.
Okay.
Does that clear anything up for you, Gus?
I feel more intelligent now.
Okay, good. A quick one, Jackie Trbojevic, is he going to play again this year?
Again, we're very Manly heavy tonight.
Yeah,
they're in the news.
A lot of stories there.
The Manly Seagulls would prefer that Jake Trbojevic, this is from their management, not from Jake. I haven't talked to Jake about this, but from their management, they would prefer that Jake doesn't play again this year now that they're out of the finals race.
Yep.
I don't know how Jake feels about that, but he has had a number of head knocks recently. And
is it 3 this year?
I think it's 3.
It's at least 2, but he's on a stand now, so he won't play this week anyway. So there's only 2 games to go.
Yeah,
if they don't win this week, the season's over.
Well, the season's pretty much over.
Pretty much over. So for his health and safety, he's probably better off sitting it out. But
it would make sense.
He won't want to do that.
No, because he's a warrior and he's been a great for Manly. But and his contract, Gal, it's getting close to being done. He's got 1 year, then he's going to go for another year.
He and Tom? Is it like a package deal? Or?
Jake.
So
I think the Tom contract has been put on hold a little bit.
Okay. Now, it wouldn't be Scuttlebutt without a mention of the top dog and the Bulldogs. What do you got for us tonight?
Well, how the hell are we in Scuttlebutt tonight?
Yeah, well,
come on.
You lost a game.
What do you got?
I hope I can make myself more intelligent out of this one, guys.
Okay.
Who needs Gal and SPW? We've got Denny and top dog tonight.
Satili Tupanua. I don't know if he's coming back or not this week, but there's been a bit of talk that he's getting he's done his hammy a couple of times, and Gus, I've heard that he's been sent to a specialist in Melbourne. Is that correct? And what's happened with that if that's the case?
He's actually been sent to, he's gone down and visited some of the people who look after the AFL players, because they get a lot of this and they're actually experts in it. I think Nathan Cleary went down to see them when he had his
same guy, or
I think the same guy at the same club. And we're actually taking a couple of players, because we're in Melbourne this week, our staff are going out to visit the AFL club and talk more about the treatment of these types of things. And we're actually taking a couple of our young players who had hamstring history just as a double check to see what it is, but they've been very helpful with Satili. So your Scuttlebutt is 100% right, Danny.
1 out of 5 or something.
Wow.
Well, it's pretty good for you.
I'm happy with that. I'll take that.
20% win rate. Coaches get sacked for that.
Journos don't. They always live to fight another day.
Jakaya, it's always nice to sit and have a yarn with you. Could you talk about the first time you started to get to know Aboriginal culture?
Yeah. For me, growing up, we moved all over the place for my dad's work. So we spent about 3 years up in Darwin, lived up in Larrakia, and I think it was probably, my time through there. We met a family that lived around the corner from us. They had 3 beautiful kids, and they became like brothers and sisters to us. One of the young girls, Eileen, she had some pretty severe medical conditions. She had to be residing in New South Wales to be eligible for a liver transplant. So she came down and lived with us for about 6 years in total. So she had 1 transplant, and she went back into community, and then she came back and to have a 2nd transplant.
Look at the stars, look how they shine for you, and everything you do.
Unfortunately, she passed away last year.
And they are all yellow.
Me and my sister both felt a lot of connection, and we went and volunteered in some remote communities. It was beautiful, the connection and how they took us in as well. It made me want to make more of a difference, especially as NRLW players, as role models within the community, non-Indigenous or Indigenous, we can have such an impact.
Gets a pass away to Whitfield.
She's all class.
Playing for Australia, I had a conversation with Jess Skinner. about my connection to Indigenous people. It was always something that I was proud of, especially like my connection to Eileen. I'm going to get emotional saying it, but like after she passed away, I had gone up to Jess and spoke to her about the potential for me to carry that flag out. Sorry. And I think for me that was about representing her and her culture. Obviously she was no longer with us, and for me to like carry out her legacy through footy was like just something that I was so proud of.
Thank you so much for sharing that story. It's okay. I'd love to know what your message would be to other non-Indigenous fans of rugby league who are seeing this celebration of culture on the field.
Yeah, I think being up here, it's probably normalised, like celebrating culture and stuff. When I went out into community, there was a lot that I didn't know. And sometimes as a non-Indigenous person, it can feel a bit uncomfortable. But I think for me, just learning and being willing to educate yourself and understand the history, what's gone on, and we can move forward together and support each other and just embrace it.
What a great chat, and brilliant to get those insights right here on 100% Footy tonight. But I'm pleased to say NRLW superstar and our self-described energiser bunny, Kennedy Cherrington's here too. G'day, Kennedy.
Thanks for the nickname. Good, thanks.
That was awesome to watch, and all the feels there with that chat with Marley.
No, definitely. Love Jakai. I've worked alongside her at Goanna Academy, so seeing her connection with Eileen is beautiful. Just what a way to homage her in the Jillaroos jersey as well.
Absolutely. Going to talk about you, the Eels, and all that in just a minute, but our tab top three tonight, the key moments from the NRLW round that was, and it had plenty, including a 13-on-11 scenario, a double send-off for the Warriors.
A bit crazy. A double send-off, 3-4 minutes apart. I did think the hip drop was a little bit controversial. I want to get your guys' opinion on this one. A send-off for a hip drop. I've seen a few. We've seen them 10 in the bin, but I just wasn't sure whether that was the right call, but, you know, the refs
Send off for that. I mean, these days the hip drops in the men's game aren't even 10 in the bin at the moment.
That's exactly what I was thinking. But actually, fun fact, guys, a double send-off actually hasn't happened since 2003. Gallen, round 24 versus the Eels, David Peachey and Dale Newton.
So... Oh, I remember that game. I'll tell you why I remember that.
Tell me.
We're playing Parramatta at Paris Stadium. I scored first. We're leading 4 points to 0. We got beaten 74-4. I think at one stage we were down to 9 men. We had 2 men sent off. We had a couple in the sin bin. Chris Anderson was the coach. He sent out a message. The trainer came out and said, just stand offside. I don't care what you do, just stand offside. So we're just literally offside the whole time. A couple of players got sent in the bin. Wow. I think we're down to 9 for a moment in time.
That's a game of touch.
That is It was ridiculous. We got hammered.
Sounds like standing offside worked for you.
Yeah.
74-4. I'm proud of you for scoring, Gal.
It's the first try of the game.
I love how that was the first comment. I scored first.
I give it to Jamie Lyon too, because we went to school together, so I give it to him a little bit, and I think he scored 5 tries that night.
The boy from Wee War. How good. All right, Caitlin Johnston, number 2 for us on our tab top 3 this week, and 11 weeks since bringing a little bub into the world, back on the footy field.
I think, you know, a lot of people probably think that's crazy, but what women can do is so powerful. We're going to see more of this with ladies coming back from maternity leave. You know, we've got Shanna Muttle, Varney Police that are actually, and Millie Boyle, they're pregnant right now, and I reckon we're going to see them bounce back and have an amazing performance first game back. So it's just a credit to the amazing woman and what our body can do. Yeah, like that's just so normal for us, I think, athletes. It's just showing people what we can do.
Killed it out there.
Crazy.
Brilliantly said. And number 1 this week. Great to be able to salute some, because the competition's a few years gone now. We've got some 50 gamers, all these big guns clocking up some milestones.
Yeah, look, Ali Brigginshaw, 50th game. I think it's so appropriate that she is the first to get that 50 milestone cap. Had to be against my team, but that's okay. And obviously Isabel Kelly and Kelly Davis have been involved with the game for a very long time now, for the Roosters and the Dragons, so a few double club there, but really awesome to see Isabel Kelly obviously leading the Dally M's at the moment. So appropriate for those two to be acknowledged like that in such a respectful way. 3 players like that, amazing.
I learned something over the weekend.
Yes.
Don't mess with you.
Oh, see, Gal loves what do you got for me?
Happened?
What do you got for me?
The smiling assassin. You and Sis.
Gallon, something happened again. You're gonna little sis stick it up for me.
Wait for it. Oh, it's on.
Don't touch my sister. Don't touch my sister.
Oh, I love it.
Nah, yeah, there's just a bit of bants on the field, like, you know, I'm getting ragdolled, and then little sis comes in, don't touch my sister. It's the back of last year, you know? You got to have your teammates back, regardless if she's my sister or not. I love it.
And then look at you, just sticking up for little sister.
Yeah,
I love that. Get out there, let me sort it out.
Yeah, for the first time, I was actually the voice of reason. So shout out to little sis.
That hairdo you had there, it's like the Mary Fowler sort of style that she was doing with the Matildas. Is there a name for that?
It's just the bubble plait. I'll teach you one day.
There you go, Gus.
If it wasn't for Paul Gallen, you would have been able to put one on a chair.
Well, actually, I was going to say that, Gus, you know. Bring back the Biff badges.
Should we ask about the Eels season in the NRLW?
You can if you want. I'll talk about it. I'll be honest.
Is it going okay?
No, it is. Look, we're just one win away from last year, so look, we're not doing too bad. Obviously, injury riddled our season again. I do think we need to go towards a top 30, not a top 24. We've seen in the last 3 rounds, players are going down like nothing, and we're having to call up players that haven't been played in the NRLW. So just to build a little bit more depth would be great, but that's, as the NRLW is going, we're going to see it. But, you know, we've got a hard game back-to-back, Broncos, Roosters, and then we've got 3 that we need to win, definitely to have a look at top 6, because I do think we deserve to be there, but by last week's performance, probably not. But I'm going to make sure I'm, you know, leading by example and bringing along the other young ones with me to hopefully, bring that in.
And there's our big Saturday fixtures there, Dog, Raider, Titan, Dragon, and then your Eel.
Yep. Yep, a lot of exciting, you know. The next few rounds are really going to determine who's sitting in that top 6, because there's a bit of a gap with obviously a top 3, and then it's just fighting for 4, 5, 6. So exciting, I guess.
Body holding up all right?
Yeah, nah, she's good. She's good. Knees back, knees great. PCL's doing amazing, guys. Don't worry about me.
You're good. Kennedy, great to have you here, as always.
Thank you.
It's been a while. It's been a while, Gal. The camera's always rolling, baby.
These are unbelievable.
And don't you love that they didn't film me doing it? Just you.
That's ridiculous.
Outstanding.
That's because our food didn't turn up tonight.
Yep. So you made them go get him pizzas?
No, I didn't make them.
And this is post-boxing Gal at his
Don't you get fed at home?
I was promised Thai.
But come in here, mate. I actually really like the... What do we get, Thai? The Thai in here is beautiful.
Yeah, but it didn't show up.
Didn't
so
show
you
up.
got your barbecue chicken pizza instead. So good. Thank you, gang, behind the scenes for putting that one together for us. All right, footy tips now. By the way, Kennedy's hanging around for these tips as well.
Yep.
Gal, who you got?
I'm going to go Dragons, Storm, Roosters, Tigers.
I'm going to go Dragons, Dogs, Para, Tigers.
Dog.
Didn't you watch the rabbit the other night? The little white headgear. He'll beat him on his own. The little white headgear.
You love the white headgear.
Rooster, they'll have their hands full with Parramatta. They're going okay, but Rooster will win, and Tiger going too good for Cowboys.
That's your sweater games right here on 9, Thursday,
well,
Friday,
it should be Friday
Saturday.
night. The other one should be on
Sunday. You'd like to switch that around, I know.
Well,
I hear, but anyway, that time of the year.
You going to Melbourne, Gus? You be down in Melbourne?
I'm going to Melbourne, yep.
Brilliant.
The windy city.
Yeah, it'd be chilly.
Never know your luck in a big city.
Kennedy, great to have you on the show tonight.
Thanks, guys.
Gal, there's more leftovers. It's cold, but sometimes it's even better. Thanks, Gus. Thanks for your company at home as well. Catch you next week. Enjoy your rugby league and your pizza.